Don't you think as well that so much of it is accountability? And I realize that winners have high accountability.
Hmm.
They have extreme accountability. For example, okay, let's say that you brought a weight loss program for $2,000, right? And you still got some freaking, rings down there 6 weeks later. Some people might be saying, you know what, that program was a scam, and I blame the program. I think
Hmm.
people with extreme accountability would probably say something like, I should have known better. I should have done more research. Or, you bought a sofa and it collapsed and the sofa's not great. Like, we bought a sofa, dude. It's not winning best sofa of the year award at the sofa of the year award handouts. And, you know, it's easy to blame things, but if you take that, we should have tested it beforehand, right? Because people with that mindset, they get better. They actually improve. If you have a victim mindset of it's someone else's fault that I'm in the position I don't like, you don't actually improve from that position. You can complain or you can grow. That's your optionality. And it's like, I think growing is obviously the better option. But it's just a little behavioral difference that I've noticed between people who tend to win and people who don't tend to win.
I used to live with Jono Catliff. He's a YouTuber that makes content that's pretty similar to us. So we used to be roommates back in the day. And I say that caveat because I think some people are always like, no fucking way, that's wild, really? But also, he once told me something that was like extraordinarily politically incorrect. And I'm going to share it with you on the pod. I was making no money at the time. I was basically fucking broke. And he was too. We were both like basically panhandling for money at the time. Big dreams and very little to show for it. And then I said something like, the world's so damn unfair. Why can't we make any more money? And then he said something revolutionary. He leaned in conspiratorially to me and said, everybody on planet Earth gets paid what they deserve, including us. And I said, holy shit, you're right. We're not getting paid more because we don't deserve to get paid more. And I think like the second I was like, well, fuck you, man. But also the second that I like internalized that,
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. I mean, like, it's not like a moral judgment, which I think a lot of people immediately take it as. I did the first time I heard it. But if you think about it, it's just like, well, we deserve to get paid in correlation to the value that we provide. And if we're not getting paid enough by our yardstick, we're just probably not providing enough value, or we haven't been doing it for long enough. People genuinely heavily erroneously extrapolate how much work they need to do in order to get whatever result they need, myself included. And that to me was like, it was a major unlock. I didn't really get it until a few months or years later, but I was getting paid nothing because I deserved to be getting paid nothing.
Yeah. The harsh wake-up calls. You're not that valuable. It's like,
Yeah.
Cool. Well, time to get freaking valuable then, right? I love that. I love that point of view. It really does. It's like, in a sense, you don't get what you deserve. You get what you take and what you actually go ahead and action. It's like you're just not valuable enough yet, and that's cool. That's completely fine, right? You can learn the skills to get it. But this is all accountability. I remember at university, so we had like my professor said to me, he said, you know what? So in the UK, we have like first class is the best you can get, then a 2-1, then a 2-2. I don't know if it's the same in Canada or not, but yeah, we do. It's a little bit crazy in the UK. And he said, do you know, actually, a lot of the guys get so I think it's 97% of people get at least a 2-1 or higher. So if you want to get like a grad scheme, you've got to get a 2-1. And obviously some degrees are hard and others like medicine, law. So some are more difficult than others. But the detail is, if you actually look at how hard people work, people that get a 2-2 actually work just as hard as people who get the best grades. The only difference is the stuff that they work on. So they still put the hours in, but they didn't actually apply it to the correct fulcrum point. So it wasn't even about how hard you were working. It was about what you were actually working on. And that's the big difference that they just didn't get. And I thought that was really fascinating. But I think a lot of the stuff we take for granted and forget, right? Because you learn it and move on. But Nick, I agree. I think these little mindset shifts make a huge difference.